For the first time in this series, we have playoff MLB baseball. And our first ever series will be against the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, one thing I forgot to do last episode when we went through the stats was the actual awards. And so let's go through those now. Postseason MVP, obviously not really pertinent yet, but Wander Franco ends up with the AL MVP. Russell Mosqueda in second place in his breakout season. I think most seasons, Russell Mosqueda played well enough to be an MVP. I think he wins MVP a lot of years with the season he had. He just had Wander Franco, who was absolutely insane this year. 388 average with 433 home runs is just absolutely insane. And that's who we're going up against in our first round. We're going to see Wander Franco in real time. Fernando Tatis was the NL MVP. So there you have that. Still in his prime at the age of 30. So Cy Young was George Kirby. Tom Williamson actually was second place. Was it just because of the insane strikeouts? That had to be it. His ERAs aren't really close to either of these other guys, especially with Kirby with 20 wins. He didn't end up winning the award, but having 2 second places is pretty crazy. Luis Patino in the NL. And batting title, Wander Franco and Luis Gonzalez. Reliever goes to Yohan Duran and Buddy Fitzgerald. Looks like a generated player. I don't know if he is. Henry Peralta wins your Rookie of the Year with 22 home runs and 68 RBIs. Pretty good there. Dax Fulton for the NL. Hank Aaron goes to top hitter. Okay, yeah. Russell Mosqueda ends up third there. Fernando Tatis wins again. Luis Medina, the Golden Glove for pitcher. Bird on the other side. Gold Glove center is our own Kevin Sandoval, just an absolute beast behind the plate. Not credited for any errors. 100% on the fielding this season. 1275 putouts. Then Alejandro Kirk wins it on the other side. Spencer Torkelson wins Golden Glove alongside Michael Toglia. Got Andres Jimenez and Albies for second base. Brooks Lee and Gunnar Henderson. Volpe and Ezekiel Tovar. Bubba Thompson and Sal Frelick. Not really well represented here in the Golden Gloves. We did get a second place here. So that's our third second place. Right field, it was Jason Gill. Okay, so we got 2 Golden Gloves and a second place in another. So actually not so bad. Just we had to wait till the end of the positions to start winning them. Silver Slugger for the DH. Juan Soto's out here DHing. Nice. Sandoval in second. So he was the Gold Glove and second in Silver Slugger. Yeah, he's the best catcher. That's just how this goes. For first base, Alberto Rincon wins it. Nice. And Vladdy Guerrero, familiar with him from our Athletics franchise. Marilyn Vargas for second base. Devers and Riley for third base. And then, of course, Russell Mosqueda just behind Wander Franco in pretty much every award he could win because they both, unfortunately, play the same position this year. So Wander Franco's insane season is gonna take, a lot of awards away from our guy this year. But there you have the awards. Now let's go ahead and just talk about the team that we're facing off against in this round in the Tampa Bay Rays. And led by 99 overall Wander Franco. Their pitching situation, they got one guy in the 90s and Taj Bradley at 29 years old. Pretty well-rounded guy. Hits per 9, limiting those hits is really his calling card. Control is really nice as well. Only has 3 pitches though. Bryce Miller is the next at 83, so a pretty big drop off, and they have a lot of guys in this low 80s area. So honestly, kind of similar to what we have at the pitching spot with the superstar shortstop. Again, really similar to us. Other good position players. They got Curtis Mead here, who's an insanely good fielder and hits for pretty decent contact as well. Power's solid but not spectacular. They got a really good closer here in Clarence Miller, who has 99 strikeouts for 9 Gs. Xavier Isaac at first base can hit power versus righties, also a good fielder. Carson Williams, contact versus lefties is his offensive calling card. Byron Buxton still kicking it at 36. He's going to hit some nukes against some righties, so we might see some action from him in this series. And that's it for the people over 80 overall on this team. Of course, being the team that won the most games in baseball this last year, you still got to think we are the favorites. But this team has never played in the postseason. And we've seen even in, just this most recent postseason in actual baseball, sometimes having this little stretch off actually does not help your team at all. Hopefully it doesn't mess with us. Our pitching rotation for this series, I don't know what's like you're supposed to do with your pitching rotation in the playoffs. I know you don't want your ace pitching in game 1. I've seen that, but like how you actually want to order it, I don't know. So I got so I think maybe we might even switch this up a little bit. This is my first draft at what we're going to be going with. We might switch these two maybe. I know you want your good pitchers down here. Pringle's technically higher overall, but was really bad this season. Esteban Acevedo was better than him for sure throughout the season. Pringle's like our worst pitcher. Maybe we're actually going to do this. Buster Pringle is going to pitch our first ever baseball game. Esteban Acevedo after that. And these were our 3 best pitchers. So these are the 3 games that could potentially be elimination games, either for us or trying to close out the Rays. And so we'll put our best pitchers here. Williamson will for sure get to pitch in this series, and we could be to either keep us from getting swept or to try to sweep. And we'll get a couple of our more solid pitchers down here as well. I saw a couple guys that can absolutely rock righties. Well, that's pretty much what our rotation is. We only got 1 lefty. So we'll see how this rotation works. If it needs to be changed going into the next series or anything, let me know. I'm not 100% familiar with how pitchers are usually handled in baseball playoff series. So, format for today's episode, we're going to be going through games 1, 2, and 3. Game 1, we'll be focusing only on the batting. Game 2, only the pitching. Game 3 will be a full game, and that's how we're going to do it. So let's hop into the gameplay. Now let's hop into the playoff action. We're starting game 1 here. Going to be focusing strictly on the batting for this one, hoping that the pitchers on the other end can hold their weight and we can pick up a win here. We've got to be the favorites here with the hometown fans here. ALDS baseball coming up, and it's been a long journey to get here. Mario Marquez will be the pitcher for the Rays. 81 overall, 4.12 ERA with a 1.37 whip this past season for him. Should be somebody that we can get at least a decent game out of, but we're going to start off with the fly out to left from Carl McIntyre. Jason Gill swings at this one. It's going to touch down in right field. Not taking long to get our first hit on the board. Alberto Rincon, very hittable pitch. This one's hit deep to right center. Caught on the warning track, nearly left the yard, but not quite enough on it. Mosqueda pops this one. Gonna be an easy fly ball here for that second baseman, and so nothing doing on the first, but nearly some early runs brought across by Rincon there. In the second, now Guerra gonna go down swinging. It's going to bring up Kevin Sandoval. He will also swing at that one and miss. A couple strikeouts in a row for Marquez. And then Darren Roman going to help us avoid just going down 1, 2, 3 easy like that. He gets the single, but can we do anything with it? Tough to start the hitting in an inning when there's already 2 down. But Chet Rodriguez comes and answers that back, and that's going to bring Blake Boyer up to bat. Now, he does have, I think, the highest clutch rating on the team, but this time around it does not matter. He's going to go down swinging. 3 strikeouts swinging in the inning for us. Let's bring it to the third. Jason Gill pops this one into foul territory. Catcher makes the easy play. We're already down 2-0 to show for in the inning yet. Rincon, soft tapper to second. Quiet inning for the boys in the third. Russell Mosqueda is up next. This one's not going to get through the infield. Wander Franco with the throw. Going to get him out. Offense struggling, but at least the pitching is holding up on the other end. Exactly what I said at the beginning we were hoping for. Like what I'm seeing from the pitching that we're not watching, but I'm not liking what we're seeing from the bats. Kevin Sandoval just barely misses another home run the second time in this game. You've been so close to having one leave the yard. Rodriguez gonna find himself a base hit, his second of today. McIntyre, he is going to end the fifth. The Rays have scored their first run, so they're starting to get a little bit of pressure here for us to come up with something. Gill will lead off the sixth with a walk. Rincon 0-2. Show me something here, Alberto, but he's going to go down swinging. Fifth strikeout for us here as we're in the sixth inning. And Gill trying to get second. He gets there. So we've got a scoring opportunity for us with Mosqueda. He, though, swings through the fastball. A lot of strikeouts. They're all swinging, though. We're not looking at these balls. We're swinging at them. Which, if I'm going to go down looking or swinging, I'd rather do the latter. But still not pretty. 0 runs for us through 6. This is the #1 contact team in baseball. Went through all the team stats last episode. One of the most productive offenses in baseball. Top 5 in most categories. Top 10 in pretty much all of them. And just not working for us in this one. 7 innings. This 81 overall pitcher is out here for the 8th inning. We have no extra base hits, but McIntyre going to change that here to lead off the 8th. Finally, we got something to go. That's the first extra base hit of this ball game, and it's in the 8th inning from an elite offense. McIntyre going for third. Why are you going for third? Why? I understand the tag-up situation, but you have your 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Just one of them needs a base hit, and you score. Instead, you... Oh, my gosh, that's terrible. Gill, at least he's in scoring position again. Okay, that's fine. He's in scoring position, 1 out. In a similar situation. But now he's going for third. Oh, my gosh. What is going on? Those are terrible decisions. There's no way. This team is selling. We've got 1 inning left. We still have 0 runs on the board. Mosqueda 0 for 3 today, but he crushes this ball into center field, and he ties this game to lead off the 9th. These are the moments that make superstars. Just had maybe the worst inning I've ever seen in baseball the last time around, in a game where you have 0 runs. You're the best player on the team. We need you to show up, and he does just that. Imagine if we hadn't been stupid in the previous inning. He could have got that home run with maybe a runner on base, but I digress. That 8th inning was so bad. But Mosqueda gives us a little bit of hope, and with still no outs in the inning, we have a chance to walk it off. Bottom of the 9th. What can Guerra do? Not much is the answer. More of the same that we've seen throughout this entire ball game. Sandoval, more of the same that we've seen in this entire ball game. And then Roman is going to tap this to third. And we're going to extras in game 1. Now, with these extra innings, we will actually watch the pitching here as well. If it goes to extras in one of these games, we're only watching one side of the game. we will watch the other side as well, just as a kind of general rule of thumb going forward. So Juan Moreno on the mound for us. Gets the first out. Bringing up Dustin Harris. And we're going to get out number 2. Things looking good for Chicago. Just need one more out. Josh Lowe up to the plate. And he crushes one of his own. Tampa Bay retakes the lead 2-1. Been a low-scoring game all throughout. It took 8 innings and into the 9th for our offense to do one thing. Why is Blake Boyer tapping his chest like that's his bad? Did he tell Moreno which pitch to use? I don't know. But that's a really tough break for us. With how difficult scoring has been throughout all this game, it's hard to imagine that we can score 2 innings in a row after 8 scoreless innings to start. Rodriguez down swinging. We've been going down swinging a ton in this game. Just can't find the baseball. Boyer line drives it straight to the glove of the third baseman, and then McIntyre, you're gonna go down. That's not the time to go down looking. Done a good job not going down looking throughout the entirety of this game, but that was not the time to do it. We will now be down 0-1, and now we're going to take a look here in Game 2 at just the pitching. We're going to start the game with Esteban Acevedo. And here's hoping that the offense can actually help him out a little bit here as well. But of course, starting the game off with a walk is not ideal. 2-2 up next, and he comes right back with a strikeout the very next play. Sandoval trying to catch the runner going to second, and he does just that. Again, I think I said it last episode or 2 episodes ago, but it seems like Sandoval's making plays behind the plate pretty much every episode now. Teams keep trying this man, and back when we first got to the MLB, it was kind of working, but now his ratings have improved to the point where testing Kevin Sandoval is just an effort in futility. It's just not going to work. This guy's got a rocket of an arm. He's become a very special catcher. As we saw, winning the Golden Glove also at the catcher's spot. Another strikeout there. Third of the day for Acevedo, and he gets another one there. It's been strikeouts and walks early on in this one, which is unfortunately getting his pitch count very high, but neither team yet with a hit. Score will remain 0-0 as we get to the third. Get a ground out to start the inning. One of the few, it feels like pretty much every result has been walk or strikeout so far. Another out there on the ground out. Curtis Mead up to the plate, and he crushes this ball. Gonna break the 0-0 tie here, top of the third. That is one area where Acevedo is not great. I feel like he's a very exciting pitcher, one that I like the future of with this team very much, but he does allow his fair share of home runs. These guys with a really high velocity, if you miss one over the middle of the plate and they time it up right, they're hitting at 450 yards, much like not yards. That would be absolute insanity. 450 feet. Hitting a baseball 450 yards would be something else. I'll tell you that. Yeah, basically 100% certain the dude's on some major roids. But anyway, the home run would be the only score. Unfortunately, our offense would not match it. Picking up another strikeout here. Continuing the theme of strikeouts and balls. Here, sounds like a poor band name, but gonna get another walk here. I meant walk, not balls, obviously. 7th strikeout here, but we're already into the high 70s here in the 4th, and it's going to continue here. Now have Runners on first and second. 2 outs here. Over 80 is the pitch count. So only allowing the one run, but still getting 20 plus pitches per inning is kind of a mixed bag here. But ultimately, he's keeping our team in the game, but the offense just refuses to do anything in the playoffs, man. This is now... They've played 14 innings. They've scored 1 run. What's going on? It's going to end the day for Acevedo. That pitch count, all those walks he allowed, just made him leave the game a little bit early here. Gil, nice range out to foul territory. Moya, the lefty, that one's out of the strike zone, but it's still going to end up being a hit for Meade. Little unlucky there. Wander Franco up next. He's got this one deep, and I was going to say let it go because I thought it was going to go foul, but that would have been fair. So good catch there by Gil. And the Tampa Bay Rays have a 2-0 lead, and for some reason it just feels unsurmountable because the offense isn't doing anything. One of the best offenses in baseball. We have 1 hit in 5 innings. This is ridiculous. We are, I should say, going against Taj Bradley, who is the Rays ace. He's good. He's 90 overall. We have like half of our lineup is 90 overall, dude. What is up with the offense? Pitching doing everything they can to keep us in this game. It's just not working as another inning goes by and another scoreless one at that. Gil, nice range. If you like defense, you'll like this series. Even though everything about this series screamed that it should have been a high-octane series. The pitchers aren't great in this series. The offensive players are much better. It's just not showing out, and I think that's just kind of a little bit of an overall problem with MLB the Show 23. I've even, recently juiced the sliders even more, but it's not seeming to do much here. As we hit Wander Franco there. I'm not going to say I'm mad at that. Xavier Isaac, that one's going to find the gap out in right field. Gil chases it down. But looks like it will bring in 1 run. Miguel Garcia also going to get that through the infield. It's going to be 4-1 for the Rays. Chicago did score 1 run in the 8th. Like, congratulations, dude. You're too late. Why does it take you 8 innings to score a run, man? One almost leaves the yard, but still, this game's over. This team's not scoring 3 runs in an inning. We haven't done it yet. We're simulating this last inning. I'm done, man. We got another game to get to here. Let's just get to it. Gonna have to avoid the sweep. We score nothing in the 9th. Oh, man. This is really tough to watch. Honestly. This team has been just an absolute embarrassment. I feel sorry for all these generated fans that paid money to watch either or even both of these games. An absolutely pitiful performance. Let's get into Game 3. We're watching the entirety of this one. Tom Williamson going to be on the mound. No man on this roster I'd rather have there. But it hasn't been the pitching that's been the problem. I don't care if we have the best pitcher of all time on the mound. Our offense needs to do something in this game. It's been ridiculous. 1 run in 19 innings so far. 2 runs, 1 run in each game. That's unacceptable. Need to put something together in this 3rd game, man. Or else the team with the most wins in baseball is going to not even pick up a single postseason victory. Going against Bruce Miller. Carl McIntyre. Doing something that we've seen about 100 times already in this postseason. Gil, that was a nice pitch. You got to give credit there, but probably should have protected the plate a little bit better. Alberto Rincon, this is a nice little hit deep. in the outfield, but still going to be a catch. And so another scoreless and hitless inning for us. Tom Williamson starting today with a strikeout of Josh Lowe, bringing up Curtis Mead. And he will also go down swinging. 2 strikeouts, strong start for our ace. And 19-year-old generational pitcher. Guy's already at 90 overall at just 19 years old, which is pretty special. Garrett, top of the second. This one hit well, deep to right field, and it is back behind the wall. A solo shot for Garrett. By far the earliest we've scored in a game. Game 1, our first run was in the 9th inning. Game 2, it was in the 7th. And here we actually got a score in the 2nd inning. Hopefully that bodes well for the rest of this ball game. And we can continue to put runs on it throughout, because this offense has been feeling mighty hopeless here to start this postseason. Darren Roman with 2 outs. Gonna ground it over to second, so it'll be just the solo homer as the only scoring done here in the inning. Williamson back. Byron Buxton to the plate. That was hit well against the shift. And so he's going to earn himself a double. This shift not working out super well for us there. Going to be followed up with a Isaac walk. Miguel Garcia falls for the curveball beneath the zone. 4th strikeout for Williamson. 2 on and 2 down for Harris. He gets a piece of that ball low in the zone, but it goes straight to Rincon. So Williamson pitches another scoreless inning. Boyer gets to walk on a favorable call. I will say throughout this game, it was a very favorable hitter's zone, I should say. A lot of those borderline calls. In fact, pretty much every single one throughout the entirety of the game was called ball. So maybe not a super fair walk there, but it was how the entirety of this game was called. Gill. He is going to load the bases here. 1 down. Rincon could put some heavy damage on the board, except he's not going to do it because he gets under that one a bit. Still, though, should be an easy tag, and it will be. Blake Boyer, across home plate, extends our lead to 2-0. Mosqueda trying to extend our lead just a bit more, and that will sneak through the infield up the middle of the field. It's going to be 3-0 Chicago. Here, so far, offense looking much better. Garrett had the home run last time, but this time he's going to fly out to right. So it'll be a 2-run inning. The only time we've scored more than 1 run in an inning all series, because we've only scored 1 run in each of the first 2 games. Low there. That's a bad look there to go down looking at that one. Wander Franco, slaps that one to right field. It's going to bang off the wall. And the Rays are going to score their first run here. Now 3-2-1 is the score. 2 down here brings up Buxton. Wander Franco going for third. Not a chance, man. The disrespect these teams are showing to Sandoval. I mean, come on. Sandoval's that dude. And what was the point of going to third anyway? He couldn't tag up. There was 2 outs. Roman flies out to left field. Some of these managerial decisions on like stealing bases and stuff and going home on certain hits are really, really poor in this game. I'll just say that. Single here for Rodriguez. Boyer. Soft into left field, but he does get it. Tough fall. A little bit of a loop hit there. McIntyre. That's a diving play at third. The throw on time to second nearly. Able to keep the inning alive there. But so far, just doing a better job of stringing together some hits here in this game. Buxton. That one's back. McIntyre's going to just watch it go over the wall. And the Rays bring this back to just a 1-run ball game on the home run to Byron Buxton. 433 feet on the homer. That's going to be a strikeout for Xavier Isaac here. 6th of the game, and that's going to lead off the 4th. Miguel Garcia got one right over the middle. Unfortunately, couldn't hit it quite hard enough. 1-1 for Carson Williams. Grounds it over to Russell Mosqueda. A clean inning there. After, of course, the Byron Buxton homer. But a good rebound and response from Williamson. Gil goes down on an ugly swing on that one. Just getting over it is Alberto Rincon. When's the last time we saw a good Alberto Rincon game? That's just my question. Saw him get like an extra base hits, a couple RBIs. When's the last time Alberto Rincon actually showed up for this team in a game that we watched? That's my question. I cannot honestly remember at the MLB level. Has he not shown up in a spotlight game since he was in AAA? That's ridiculous. He's been our 3-hitter for ever since he came into the lineup. We need a better performance out of this guy. Luckily, though, so far it hasn't hurt us too bad, as we still hold that 1-run lead. Low flies out to Gil. Now 2 down here, bottom of the 5th. Mead 0 for 2 today, of course, had a very timely home run earlier on in the series, but here he floats it to center field and McIntyre makes the easy play. Sandoval up the middle. Gonna get himself on base there. Roman pitch low in the zone, and we're gonna ground into a double play, aren't we? Yes, we are. 3 scoreless innings since a solid start to this game. Wander Franco went around that curveball low, looks like. Or that's at least how it was called. Full count for Buxton. Over 100 pitches already. Same thing we saw with Acevedo. Really solid pitching, but just these Rays are making us get high in the pitch count almost every single time. So it's hard to keep our starters out for long. But I'll say it again. It's not been the pitching that's been the problem in this series with the Rays. It's been our offense. Had a solid start to this game, and now we're starting to see it slow down. Full count for McIntyre. That's going to be the 4th consecutive scoreless inning after scoring in each of the 2nd and the 3rd. Pitch count into the 120s here for Williamson, but he gets a clean 7th, but you got to imagine that's probably his last. Williamson got us to this point. We have a 1-run lead. Offense needs to create something. We're going to the bullpen. That's a lot less stable and dependable in terms of keeping them off the board. Can we give them a little bit of wiggle room here? Not going to be Gil. And once again, not going to be Rincon. Was hoping calling him out could maybe help us out a bit, but nope, he has not responded to that. Mosqueda does draw a walk, though, I guess. Does something. Guerra. Can't beat the throw. And it's going to be 3-2 now, bottom of the 8th. Mason Hour gonna get an automatic double as that ball bounces over the wall. Josh Lowe flies it to McIntyre. Will it hold the guy at second? It looks like it will do just that. Curtis Mead gets that through the infield. And the runner will not go, so it'll be runners in the corners, 1 out, but that brings up Wander Franco, MVP of the league. He is going to get a walk. But the problem with that is that Byron Buxton is up next, and he happens to be very good at baseball. He's going to just bunt over the tying run. How many times have we seen this in this series, man, where we have a good start, and then we slowly, over time, just let the other team back in? With just inning after inning of doing nothing. Roman's gonna bunt over Sandoval. Don't say he's gonna ground into a double play with the bunt. Are you serious, dude? What is wrong with this offense? There's something seriously wrong with this offense. We had 3 runs after 3. We scored nothing since. All of a sudden now, the Rays have a chance to walk off this series because we haven't done squat since inning 3. I can't stand the game, dude. I can't. We're too deep into the MLB the Show 23 cycle for me to still be dealing with the same things that were happening in episode 12. Gonna get bailed out there by a stupid decision. And we're going to extras again. No base runner in the extra innings in the playoffs. Is that like real life, or is that just something that the game does? Do they really take that out in the playoffs? It's one of the few things that make extra base innings or extra innings actually bearable, is the fact that you have a runner in scoring position. Gill? That could bring McIntyre home, excuse me, and it will close play there in the outfield. But McIntyre needed to use every bit of his elite speed to get around the base paths there. Solid throw for sure. If he threw it just a little bit more left, that's probably an out. Rincon flies to center, still hasn't done anything in this game. Except for a sacrifice fly, I guess, in the 3rd. Mosqueda, beautifully hit. That's going to touch down in the outfield. That should bring home a 5th run, and you got to imagine that's enough to avoid the sweep here and pick up the win in the 10th inning. Our inning will end after that. Guerra couldn't extend the lead anymore. Bartolo Ordonez in here for the save in the 10th. Allows the single to Chas McCormick to lead it off. Not a great start. Full count now. Josh Lowe. Deep to left field, but it will be caught. First out acquired. 2 needed now. Meade. He swings at the slider. 2 outs now. Just need 1 more from Ordonez. Cannot allow a home run here to Wander Franco. He's not going to do that, but Wander somehow gets that to go. And then we throw it to 3rd. Wander was going to 2nd. That's an out. McIntyre could have definitely gotten that throw to 2nd in time. That throw to 3rd had no chance. And the Tampa Bay Rays have tied it back in the 10th. Stupid decision after stupid decision this entire episode. I can't take it anymore, man. I just can't with this game. Here in the 11th, Sandoval goes down. Roman. Another easy out right after him. This episode alone just took days off of my life. The absolute stupidity of some of this decision making, man. What is going on? Can't allow anything to the Rays if we want to continue our hopes here in the playoffs. Got 2 down. Thurston Williams is going to fly out to right. We're about to enter the 12th. I'll tell you this right now. The 12th is the last inning I'm watching. If we can't get a result here in the 12th, I'm simulating until we can... I can't stand this anymore. Can't stand this game anymore, man. McIntyre. Base hit. 1 down. Also a very good threat to steal 2nd. He's going to try that right now. Easily in time. Runner in scoring position, 1 down. We've got our 2 and 3 hitters up next. Gill just lines it straight to 2nd. Almost had a base hit there. That was very close. Rincon right over the middle, and he just... Rincon sucks, dude. I don't know what it is. This guy's great in simulation, but he sucks in these spotlight games. He's so terrible. It's ridiculous. telling me Dustin Harris beat that throw? Okay. And Boyer doesn't have the strongest arm, to be fair. Swing and a miss from McCormick. Low 0 for 5 today. That is going to be another out, dude. Sandoval has been absolute money. One of the very few bright spots in this entire episode is how dominant Sandoval has been. I said it, I'm not watching past the stupid 12th. I'm done watching. I can't stand any more of this game right now, man. I just can't. A solo homer from Mosqueda is actually going to win us the game, and so our playoff hopes stay alive. Our hopes for the season stay alive. We do not get swept. But my goodness. This game, this episode, the three games that I watched in this episode were infuriating. I just have to be honest. Ugh. Still got some hope left in the season. Finally, our offense did something, but we only... I don't know, man. I don't know. The 13th inning home run from Mosqueda giving us the win there. Keeps our season alive. But I've got to be honest with you. I think this episode might have been my tipping point of watching the CPU versus CPU gameplay here in this series. Just the 1-2 game into the game that was 1-2 into the 8th inning and ended up being 1-4. And then a game here. We've watched, there's been, I should say, a grand total of 32 innings so far in these 3 games. We scored a run in 6 of them, which means we had, what is that, 26 scoreless innings out of 32. That's just not fun for me to watch anymore, man. We were very, very deep into the MLB the Show 23 cycle. It doesn't mean I hate the game or anything. I'm just this game is too late in the cycle to keep seeing the same game over and over and over again. How many times have we seen 1-2? And again, this game was 1-2 into the 8th again. This one, how many times have we seen us score a few runs in the first 3 or 4 innings in the game and then not score again? And that was the case until the 10th inning in this game too. It's just, I've updated the sliders. Last episode, I was very encouraged by what I saw with this 7-4 victory. It was back and forth. I'm not saying that I need every game to be 7-4. If we had this game was 1-2, but then these other 2 games were a little bit more entertaining, I would not have a problem with it. I'm fine with having the low scoring games in here. It's just, there seems to be like 3 scripts that the game follows. And unfortunately, the fun script, the ones that result in the games like this one, happen like less than 10% of the time. And I'm just getting, honestly, frustrated watching these games at this point. And so I think win or lose, which means hopefully we can win these last 2 games against the Rays. This might be my last season. I'm obviously going to do a long-term sim, because if we don't win the championship this year, I want to give us a chance to win it at some point. But I've just got to be honest. Unless my opinion changes between right now and when I record next episode, I just can't commit to another season where I'm watching the CPU versus CPU gameplay in this game, man. It's just, like I said, it's gone from fun to frustrating oftentimes. Still have the occasional fun games. I was really high on the game just last episode, literally, but the complaints I had, I think the episode or 2 episodes before that, are very valid. I know I said just a few episodes ago that if I didn't win the championship, I'd go up to 10 seasons. I know we're not very deep, you know, if you talk episode wise, we're what, late 30s, maybe even the 40s, but we're 8 seasons into this thing, and I'm tired of watching 1-2 baseball games throughout the entirety of those 8 seasons. It's been the same all throughout this. Did the slider change, and it seems to worked 1 out of the 5 games I've watched. It, as the slider change really seemed to make much of a difference at all. And even like we're scoring in 6 of the 32 innings or whatever it is, and 4 out of those 6 is just 1 run too. It's like it's a solo homer. You know, it's not like stringing together. It's not that fun of an inning either. It's 3 outs with 1 homer in there. Yeah, that's, I don't know. It's just becoming frustrating watching the game play out. I can tell you by like inning 3 most of the time how the game's gonna end. And so I wish it wasn't like that. And maybe it's a function of the team that I built, you know, this high contact team. We're like we're the best contact team by a mile, but we can't ever seem to string together an inning where we have hits. I think we did that once in these 3 games. That 3rd inning when we scored 2 runs and it was off of like 4 hits or whatever it was. I don't even remember exactly, you know what I mean? But my goodness. I know not everybody's going to be happy with that decision, but unless my mind changes between now and next episode, of course, if we don't lose, then we're going to keep going on this season anyway. Gonna keep going with this season. But if we lose, there's a good chance we just go into a long-term sim, say I couldn't do it. And then we'll see if we can win 1 or 2, or maybe even more than that in the long-term sim, because definitely want to play out the careers of these guys for sure. I just don't know if I have the patience to keep watching this game. I'm at the point, it's honestly kind of a really similar to the point I am with my Madden series right now, where the team building aspect of the game, I'm still loving it like a ton. I love the team that I'm building. I love maybe trying to add that last piece that could put us over the edge or whatever that is. But the gameplay itself is just not where I want it to be. And so just making a series that's 8 years in a little bit tougher for me to have fun with. So we'll see. Maybe the comment section can convince me. Maybe couple days removed from an episode that I thought was just truly frustrating to record could change my mind as well, but for now that is the plan. So thanks for watching this episode. Hopefully we can pull off the reverse sweep in the next one, which will be coming out soon, and I'll see you then.